A faceless being, who will say is male but the gender is irrelevant, awakens to total darkness. For the purpose of this story, we'll call the man Jim, but that's not to say it couldn't be Jane or any other name. The last thing Jim remembers is he can't remember. It's almost as if Jim is in a dream, but his grip on reality has been lost completely. He can't move, so he's unsure if his physical body still exists. For all Jim knows, this is heaven. He's dead, and he's on his way to meet the supreme creator of the universe. He still retains the conscious thought processes of a man, but questions whether he's still human. Before any of these questions are answered, the unending darkness is replaced by the brightest light imaginable. It's as if Jim is feet away from the surface of the sun, and yet he feels no pain. He blinks, or thinks he's blinking, and is instantly transported to the top of a very high mountain. He now has control of where he looks, so he looks down to find nothing. No legs, body, or arms. If he had a mirror in front of him, he would see no head or face. He is an invisible, floating entity. As Jim looks around, he senses a presence nearby, but is unsure of what it is. Another blink of his unseen eyes, and he's at the top of the Empire State Building, but instead of the gift shop up top, it appears to be a typical coffee shop. Jim looks down and notices he has a body again, but doesn't recognize it. He glances into the glass window's reflection to see a face with no features except a mouth. No eyes, nose, ears, or anything. Just blank skin with hair on top. And yet he can see. Sitting at one of the tables in the coffee shop is a lone man reading a newspaper. Because he has no concept of time and space, Jim is unaware this man is dressed in garb not seen since the middle of the 18th century. Jim immediately rushes to the man with the intent of seeking answers. Any answers. The man appears to be vaguely aware but unfazed by the sudden appearance of Jim atop this coffee shop in the sky. He politely asks Jim to join him, and Jim notices there are 2 full, untouched cups of coffee on the table. Before Jim can say anything, the man remarks on the beautiful view from up here. It's almost as if you're on top of the world. Jim was just on top of the world. He doesn't have much concern or reverence for this view before him. Jim is more focused on the why. But the nameless man appears more than content sipping his coffee and reading his newspaper. Jim patiently waits a few moments but can't hold it any longer. His questions burst forth like water from a broken dam. Why am I here? Who am I? Where are we? Are you God? Am I dead? Looks like stormy weather is approaching, the man comments, taking no heed of the barrage of questioning. Lightning cracks in the distance, and the seemingly clear blue sky grows darker by the second. Before Jim can repeat any questioning, what appears to be an earthquake is felt, an extremely violent earthquake that feels as if it would rip the earth in two. Before he can scream, his mouth vanishes from his face, and in this same instant the building begins to collapse towards the ground, yet the coffee shop stays intact, slowly plummeting like a descending elevator. Once again the man remarks about the weather, all the while the ground getting closer and closer. The instant before impact, with the empty streets of New York City mere inches away, everything stops, frozen in time. Everything except Jim and the man. Have you got the time? The man remarks. It would appear we've both got places to be. We must do this again sometime. Quite a shame we never got to finish our coffee. Beautiful view, wouldn't you say?